stop everything you're doing right now because I just discovered the real reason why Picoin still isn't on Binance, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what the core team has been telling us. Community insider Mr. Spock just exposed shocking evidence that Pi Network's governance is still completely centralized, most activity is still happening on the old Testnet, and major exchanges like Binance are refusing to list Pi because of fundamental decentralization failures. You know, View, if you've been wondering why your Pi rewards are still locked, why the mainnet feels empty, and why every promise about exchange listings keeps getting broken, I'm about to reveal the disturbing truth that explains everything, and honestly, it's making me seriously reconsider everything I believed about this project. Follow my Telegram and Facebook pages right now for exclusive Pi Network insider updates, because what I'm sharing today could completely change how you view your Pi investment. The evidence I'm presenting includes direct quotes from community leaders, shocking statistics about mainnet activity, and proof that the core team has been misleading us about true decentralization. You know, View, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Pi's trading volume hit $88 million, but Binance still won't touch it, why your validator earnings are nowhere to be found, and most importantly, what this means for Pi's future and your holdings. So don't you dare click away, because this information is absolutely critical for every single pioneer. Here's the bombshell that's rocking the Pi Network community right now. And I'll be honest with you, it's got me pretty concerned. Despite Picoin's recent price jump from 33 cents to 39 cents and trading volume hitting a massive $88 million, Binance and other major exchanges are staying far away from Pi. But why? The answer will shock you, and you know, View, in my opinion, it reveals some fundamental problems that I think the core team has been trying to hide from us. Community insider Mr. Spock just dropped a truth bomb that's sending shockwaves through the pioneer community, and personally, I think he's absolutely right to speak out. He revealed that Pi Network's governance is still completely controlled by the core team, making it far from the decentralized network they promised us. Think about it. Protocol upgrades, migrations, and developer guidelines are all still made centrally by the same team members who started this project years ago. You know, View. This means Pi Network is operating under a model that major exchanges like Binance and Coinbase won't touch with a 10-foot pole, and honestly, I can't blame them for being cautious. But wait, it gets even more concerning, and this is where I start to lose patience with the core team's approach. While the core team announced the open network phase months ago, guess what? Most of Pi Network's activity is still happening on the old Testnet. You heard that right. We're stuck in this weird transition phase where the mainnet exists, but barely anyone is using it. Only a tiny number of nodes are actually running on the mainnet, which means true decentralization is still a distant dream. You know, View, this explains why smaller exchanges like SwapPhone can list Pi, but the big players are keeping their distance, and frankly, I think this incomplete transition is doing more harm than good to Pi's reputation. Let me paint you a picture of just how serious this situation really is, because I believe every pioneer deserves to know the full truth. Remember all those promises about Pi being community-driven? Well, the reality is that decision-making power is still concentrated in the hands of the core team, and in my opinion, this is a betrayal of everything Pi Network was supposed to represent. This has created massive frustration among pioneers who expected to have a real voice in Pi's future. You know, View, many community members are now openly questioning whether Pi Network contradicts its own community-focused image, and I have to say I'm starting to agree with them. Here's another shocking revelation that's got everyone talking, and honestly, it's the part that disappoints me the most. Despite months of migration efforts, Picoin's real-world utility remains practically non-existent. Those referral rewards you've been earning still locked up, validator earnings nowhere to be found in your wallet. The displayed rewards that got everyone excited, still sitting there untransferred, creating serious trust issues throughout the community. You know, View, this lack of basic functionality is making it impossible for Pi to prove its worth to major exchanges, and I think it's completely unacceptable that these fundamental features are still missing after all this time. The communication problems are getting worse by the day, and this is something that really gets under my skin. The core team's prolonged silence has allowed wild speculation and misinformation to spread like wildfire through social media. Mr. Spock put it perfectly when he stated that the Pi core team must embrace its current role as leaders, and I couldn't agree more. When your own community leaders are calling out the team publicly, there's a serious leadership crisis happening, and I believe the core team needs to step up and take responsibility for their lack of transparency. But here's what really caught my attention and should concern every Pi holder, because I think this shows a pattern of overpromising and under-delivering. The core team introduced Know Your Business checks for distribution, claiming this would boost adoption and trust. Community members report that these efforts haven't moved the needle, and critics argue that without core incentives and proper token utility, the Pi ecosystem cannot grow, directly affecting token demand, value, and causing volatility. This is frustrating because Pi Network enjoys strong community support and rising trading interest, proving the potential is there, yet structural problems keep holding it back. The recent price recovery shows real demand, but it's like having a sports car with the engine still being built. It looks good, but can't perform when needed. In my view, Pi Network is at a critical crossroads, and the community must demand better from the core team. While these revelations are concerning, understanding the real problems puts you ahead of 99% of other pioneers who are still in the dark about what's actually happening. And in my opinion, knowledge is the only way we can make smart decisions moving forward. The key takeaway here is that Pi's Binance listing delay isn't just about technical readiness. It's about fundamental governance and decentralization issues that need to be addressed before major exchanges will even consider listing Picoin. This information gives you the power to make informed decisions about your Pi Network involvement instead of just hoping and waiting blindly. And I genuinely believe that's what every pioneer deserves. If this video opened your eyes to what's really happening with Pi Network, smash that like button right now. Your engagement helps me bring you more exclusive insights like this, and honestly, it motivates me to keep digging for the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I'll be closely monitoring this situation and bringing you updates as they develop. Knowledge is power in the crypto world, and staying informed could be the difference between success and disappointment, which is why I'm committed to giving you the real story, not just hype. Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you still hopeful about Pi Network's future, or are these revelations making you reconsider your position? I read every single comment and love hearing your thoughts on these developments, because I believe our community discussions are just as valuable as any official announcement. Remember to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages for real-time updates and exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Together we can navigate through all the noise and get to the truth about Pi Network's future, and I promise to keep fighting for transparency and honest reporting. Until next time, stay informed and keep pioneering.